In this video, we discuss Service and Application Access Control, which describes how access can be limited to certain services by user and group. We'll look at some basic network services: NFS, FTP, Samba, and HTTP. As for NFS, there is no direct application access control by user or user group, at least as configured in etc/exports. However, NFS shares are mounted and configured locally as if it were a local directory. So any control, in other words, ownership and permissions of local files and directories, can also be used to regulate ownership and permissions to remotely mounted NFS shares. But that's based on an appropriate authentication database, so it may also require a proper NIS or LDAP server. FTP shares can be somewhat regulated by user. Based on the default VS FTP service, VS standing for Very Secure, users in the FTP users file are prohibited from access from the FTP service. You can add users as you desire to this list. Samba servers are controlled by a different username password database. This authentication database can be on a remote system if the domain password server is also remote. It can be on a local system if this local Samba system is on a domain controller. In that case, the database may be in the etc/samba/smb password configuration file. There are also additional controls in the Samba configuration file based on read list and write list directives. These directives can specify allowed users or allowed groups. All you need to specify a group is the @ symbol in front. HTTP service access can also be controlled by a password and username database. If there is an access file name directive in an appropriate directory stanza, access to that directory is limited and based on usernames and passwords in an associated password file as created by the htpassword command.